Hello kids, good morning. Welcome back to your English language lesson with me. And today we are going to be based on your Get Smart Plus 3 students book, page 55 under the unit Food, please. Let's get into it, kids. For today's lesson, we will be singing along to a new song, which is based on your textbook, page 55, entitled I'm Hungry. Next, we will find out the types of food that can be found in the song. After that, we will learn how to differentiate between countable and uncountable nouns, focusing on food, especially the ones that we can find from the song. Then, we are going to learn the usages of there's some and there are some. By the end of the slide, we are going to be doing a little exercise to practice the phrases there's some and there are some. To begin the lesson, let's start singing.
I'm hungry, what can we make? There's some flour in the cupboard, there's some chocolate and some sugar. Let's make some biscuits, let's make some biscuits, let's make some biscuits now.
There's some lettuce on the table. There are some tomatoes and some onions. Let's make some salad. Let's make some salad. Let's make some salad now.
Alright, now it's time to find out what are the types of food that can be found from the song. For this section, I'd like you to read along and also spell along with me. Let's start with the first picture. Let's read, spell and read. Onions. O-N-I-O-N-S. Onions. Onions. O-N-I-O-N-S. Onions. Read, spell, and read. Lettuce. L-E-T-T-U-C-E. Lettuce. Lettuce. L-E-T-T-U-C-E. Lettuce. Read, spell, and read. Chocolate. C-H-O-C-O-L-A-T-E. Chocolate. Chocolate. C-H-O-C-O-L-A-T-E. Chocolate. Read, spell, and read. Biscuits. B-I-S-C-U-I-T-S. Biscuits. Biscuits. B-I-S-C-U-I-T-S. Biscuits. Read, spell, and read. Tomatoes. T-O-M-A-T-O-E-S. Tomatoes. Tomatoes. T-O-M-A-T-O-E-S. Tomatoes. Read, spell, and read. Sugar. S-U-G-A-R, sugar, sugar. S-U-G-A-R, sugar. Read, spell and read. Salad. S-A-L-A-D, salad, salad. S-A-L-A-D, salad. Did you notice from the song as well as the words that you've read along to a while ago, there were countable and uncountable nouns in them? Let's have a look at what countable nouns and uncountable nouns are. First, we look at countable nouns. Countable nouns are anything that we can count. When there's more than one, it becomes a plural and ends with the letter S. For example, biscuit. When it becomes plural, it is biscuits, and it ends with the letter S. The word onion. Onion is singular, but when it becomes onions, with the letter S, it becomes plural. Tomato. This is a singular word, and in plural, it becomes tomatoes. It ends with the letters E and S. Carrot. Carrot is a singular word, and when it becomes plural, it becomes carrots with the letter S. Now, if the things can become plural and they end with the letter S, meaning to say they are countable. Countable meaning to say can count. Now, let's have a look at uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns is anything that we cannot count. No matter if it's a little or many, the words will remain as singular. They won't end with the letter S. For example, sugar, water, flour, and milk. Now, these four things here, they will never end with the letter S. No matter how much the sugar is, how much is the amount of flour, you cannot make it into plural. You cannot add the letter S at the end of the word. Sugar cannot be sugars. Water cannot be waters because we cannot count any of them. So, if we cannot count any of them, they are uncountable nouns. In this slide, we are going to find out what are the countable and uncountable nouns which can be found from the song. Let's begin with the countable nouns. The first one is onions. Onions. The second one is biscuits. Biscuits. Now notice that the words for these two nouns here end with the letter S. When they end with the letter S, meaning to say they can become plural. If they can become plural, then they are countable nouns, because countable nouns are anything that we can count. So let's proceed with uncountable nouns. The things or food that we can find in the song which are uncountable nouns are sugar, flour, chocolate, lettuce. These four food cannot end with the letter S. No matter how much or how many they are, you cannot place a letter S at the end of each word. Sugar cannot be sugars. Flour cannot be flowers, because they are uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns, they are things that we cannot count. So no matter how much, how many, whether it's one, two, or more than that, they will remain a singular word that doesn't end with the letter S. Alright class, before we go to the phrases there are some as well as there's some, let's find out the meaning of the word some. Some is an unspecified number of a noun. The word some can be used for uncountable nouns as well as countable nouns. But in the case of countable nouns, the word some is used for plural nouns. Now look at the given example below. For countable nouns, we can use the word some as such. Some tomatoes, some carrots, some onions. Now, as what I have explained earlier on, the word some is an unspecified number or amount of a noun. So it means we do not know how many or how much is the amount of something is. That is why we use the word some. Let's have a look at the example of picture here. This picture is a picture of a basket of tomatoes. Do you know how many tomatoes are there in this basket? I'm sure your answer is no. So since we do not know the number of tomatoes in this basket, we can simply replace the number with the word some, and we can go as some tomatoes. Now let's have a look at the examples of the word some used with uncountable nouns. For example, some sugar, some milk, some flour. We use some because we do not know the amount of sugar or the milk or the flour. For example, in this picture, this is a picture of flour. Do you know how much flour is there in that picture? I don't think so. So if we do not know the amount of flour in this picture, we can simply say some flour. It's time to find out about the usage of there's some and there are some in sentences. Let's go. Let's start with there's some. There's some. There's some is originally there is some, but it got shortened to there's some. This phrase is used for uncountable nouns. Remember, there's some is used for uncountable nouns, and uncountable nouns is anything that we cannot count. For example, there's some milk in the fridge. There's some milk in the fridge. Notice that we use there's some for milk. Why? Because milk is uncountable noun. You cannot count milk. Alright, so let's proceed to there are some. There are some. This phrase is used for countable nouns. Remember, countable nouns is anything that we can count. Example here, there are some carrots on the table. There are some carrots on the table. Now notice that the word carrots ends with the letter S, meaning to say it can become plural. If it can become plural, then it is a countable noun. It's time for practice. There's some or there are some. Let's start practicing for there's some. Remember, there's some is used for uncountable nouns. And uncountable nouns are things that we cannot count. Let's begin with the first sentence. Read after me. There's some flour in the cupboard. There's some flour in the cupboard. Next example. Read after me. There's some chocolate in the cupboard. There's some chocolate in the cupboard. Example number 3. There's some sugar in the cupboard. There's some sugar in the cupboard. Next, there's some lettuce on the table. There's some lettuce on the table. Now, did you realize that we use there's some for things which didn't end with the letter S? Flour, chocolate, sugar, lettuce. They do not end with the letter S because they cannot become plural. If they cannot become plural, meaning to say we cannot count them, they will always remain as singular words. So when this happens, we must use the word there's some. Alright, now let's continue the lesson with the phrase there are some. You will be seeing several examples of sentences that use the phrase there are some. Let's start with the first one. There are some biscuits in the cupboard. There are some biscuits in the cupboard. Let's go to the second example. There are some tomatoes on the table. There are some tomatoes on the table. And the next example. There are some onions on the table. There are some onions on the table. Now, did you notice that the nouns given here are all plural nouns? How do we know they are plural nouns? Because they all end with the letter S. Now, whenever a noun is a plural noun, we use the phrase there are some because the nouns are countable. And the phrase there are some is always used with countable nouns. Let's try to answer several fill-in-the-blanks questions together using the phrases there's some and there are some. Alright now class, in this section I'd like you to try to make wild guesses on answers to be filled in the blanks. There will be 4 questions altogether. Now let's have a look at the first question. The first question goes, blank biscuits in the cupboard. Blank biscuits in the cupboard. Now look at the word biscuits. What kind of noun is this? Is this uncountable or countable noun? The answer is it's countable noun. Why? Because it ends with the letter S. If the noun ends with the letter S, meaning to say it can become plural. If it can become plural, then it is countable noun. So, which phrase is most suitable to be filled in this question? Is it there's some or there are some? Try to make a wild guess. Alright, now let's check your answer, whether they are correct or not. The answer is there are some. There are some is used with countable nouns. Alright, did you get it right? Well, I hope you did. Okay, now let's proceed to the second question. The second question goes, blank letters in the cupboard. Blank letters in the cupboard. Now look at the word letters. What kind of noun is this? Is it countable or uncountable noun? It is uncountable noun. Okay, we cannot count letters, so it becomes uncountable noun. So, if it is uncountable noun, which phrase is most suitable to be filled in this blank? Is it there's some or there are some? Make a wild guess, class. Okay, now let's check your answer. The answer is there's some. There's some letters in the cupboard. Remember, there's some is used with uncountable noun. Okay, let's go to the next question, which is question number 3. Blank onions on the table. Blank onions on the table. Now look at the word onions. It ends with the letter S. What kind of noun is this? Is it countable or uncountable noun? It is countable noun. So if countable noun, which phrase is most suitable to be filled in this blank? Is it there's some or there are some? Let's check the answer. The answer is there are some. There are some. Okay, now we have reached the last question of the day, which is question number 4. Let's have a look at it. Question number 4 goes, blank chocolate on the table. Blank chocolate on the table. Now have a look at the word chocolate. What kind of noun do you think this is? Is it countable or uncountable noun? The answer is, it is uncountable noun. If it is uncountable noun, which phrase is most suitable to be placed in this blank? The answer is, there's some. There's some. There's some chocolate on the table. Remember, there's some is used with uncountable noun.
That's all for now, everyone. See you soon. Thank you.